Well, hello there. If you're just joining us, we're doing our continued coverage of Computex 2014, and we're over at the Bitfenix booth. I'm just taking a quick break, but enough of that. We're going to cover some brand new cases from Bitfenix that are going to be coming out very soon. So we're going to start off with this one right here. This is the Aegis, and this is a micro ATX system. Now, it might seem slightly large for a micro ATX system. There's a specific reason for that, though. It's actually designed with water cooling specifically in mind. Bitfenix really likes to do that. So it has, first off, this front LCD right there. This is customizable. Looks black and white right now, but it's actually full color. And via the software app that's currently still in development, you can drag and drop your own picture and have it display there through this sort of smoked finish on the front. So very cool there. There's also tons and tons of water cooling features here. Now, the other thing to point out on the front here before we move over there is that we have no optical drive. Now, if you do water cooling, often you want some sort of fan control or something like that, particularly for pump control. They've integrated that into the top of the case here, so you've got an integrated fan controller, and it has 30-watt channels, which means that it can support, for instance, a pump for your water cooling loop. Moving on over to the interior, though, you can see they have it fully decked out. So there's support for a 240mm radiator up on the top, a 360mm radiator on the front, and they've also included custom mounts for both a tube reservoir. You can see that one mounted right there. The mount for that is based on the XSPC Photon, but it will fit most tube reservoirs that are on the market. They also have a special pump mount as well that you can move to different locations within the case. The tube reservoir can be mounted at the top, as you can see here, or you can mount it on the front, which will allow for longer tube reservoirs. Apart from that, well, I guess that's all we have to say about that. Okay, moving on. Next up, we have the Atlas right here, and this is Bitfenix's, well, their new flagship. This thing is a monster. It is absolutely huge. Now, first off, they're integrating some aluminum here, which is kind of a first from Bitfenix. The finish right there, which is currently at silver, they're going to be changing that to black, so it will more fit with the rest of the case. You also notice it has this fantastic LED lighting strips around the side. And I was being shown this earlier. I hope I can remember how to do it. Oh yes, you can push this button. You can change up the LED lighting, or you can just turn it off like I just did. There we go. Okay, so you can switch between different ones, or you can actually have it go to a cycle mode. And when you go to the cycle mode, you can actually pause it on the color you want, which I haven't figured out how to do. But yeah, you can pause it on the color you want and have it set there, which is really cool. But moving on to the interior, as you can see, it's a split design, so you have two compartments, one on either side. They're reversible. That's right, reversible, which means you can pretty much flip everything around and switch the motherboard over to this side if you want to switch things around, which is pretty cool. This is an eATX case, hence its large size, dual chamber design. You can actually fit quad 360 reservoirs in here. Yes, that's right, 4 of them, 2 on the top, 2 on the front. You have that RGB lighting system around the edge that we already mentioned, and then the motherboard tray itself is also a really unique design. The motherboard tray you can actually remove. It has its own little feet, and it's got built-in power and reset buttons, which means you can actually pop the motherboard tray out and use it as like an external test bed build. Pretty cool in itself. So if you're doing your external build to start off with, then you can pop that out, get your system set up, particularly if you're setting up a water cooling loop or something like that. Great to have that functionality so that you can make sure everything's working before you get everything built in the system. The side panel window over here is huge. It gives you a really good look at everything inside, and then of course, depending on where you're going to put this, if you want to have a nice view of that, you can switch it over to the other side, and that will allow you to get a better view of it either way. We can see we have the full system decked out in here. They again have integrated a reservoir mount as well for a tube reservoir, and you can see they've currently got a 240 in the front and a 360 on the top, but an insane amount of reservoir water cooling configurations, if that's what you're into. And if you're into Bitfenix, you're probably into that. Moving on to our third new case. Oh, by the way, Q4 release is when we're expecting to see the Aegis and the Atlas. But moving on, we have the Pandora. Kind of a new design, a different design from Bitfenix. This is designed to be more of like a living room type system. Again, we have aluminum construction around the outside. These panels pop off quite easily. And again, we have that LCD integrated here into the front. So just like with the Aegis, you can customize that to be a black and white or color or whatever type of image you want to do there. You can put your company logo, you can put a picture of your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever you happen to want to fit into there. Apart from that, the aluminum construction, you can fit a couple hard drives, a couple SSDs in there, and you can still fit a 120mm radiator on the top and a 240mm radiator on the front. And lastly, we have the Recon 2 Fan Controller, which is integrated into the case right here. If you're familiar with Bitfenix's Recon Fan Controller, they did some interesting things with it, such as internet connectivity, the type of thing you wouldn't necessarily expect in a fan controller. But this one is really awesome, not just for the internet connectivity, which they have kept, but also you have 2 30-watt channels and 3 10-watt channels, so a total of 5, and the 30-watt channels mean, yes, you can support your water cooling pump with that. You also have color changing functionality built in. You can switch between auto and manual modes. And guess what? Instead of having to log into an internet browser in order to control this, if you want to do the internet functionality, Bitfenix is working on an app. So they're going to come out with it for iOS, and then they're going to follow up with Android. So you can use an actual app to control your fan controller, which is, I mean, I've been waiting for that fan controller app for forever. So Bitfenix, thank you for bringing that to us. Thanks to you guys for watching this video as well. Stay tuned. We'll be continuing our coverage of Computex 2014. We'll see you all in the next video.